Well, after sleeping on it, welcome back to my channel. My name is Eric, and now all the fun starts. And what I mean with all the fun starts is putting this car together. And in this video, we're going to start with getting the rack and pinion done. While I have it like this, it's easy to work with it. And I was gonna use the 850 rack, but it won't fit. It's too big. The problem is, as you can see here, I got the 850 rack and the 460 rack put together. I know one is shorter than the other. That's a later issue. But the attachment to the steering column, yeah, it comes through the firewall, and the hole in the firewall doesn't fit the 850 rack. And if I redo the hole in the firewall, the 850 steering column is going to be right on top of the pedals. So I can't use the 850. So I have to use the 460 rack. But as you can see here, the mounting places are different. 850 mounts straight to the subframe, and the 460 have a vertical mount on the 460 subframe. So I got to redo this, but that's an easy problem. But first, so generally I thought, if you look at this like that, the 850 rack is centered between the bolt holes. So from the beginning I thought, okay, I'll just put the 460 rack in the center of the bolt holes. But then I realized it might not line up with the hole in the firewall for the steering column shaft. So what I'm going to do to start now is, first of all, we're going to put this subframe back on the body, back on the car here. Then I'm going to flip it so it's in upright position. And then I'm going to go up on the attic and get the steering column from the 460. And we're going to attach that in the car and see where this rack is going to end up compared to where the 850 rack is sitting right now. And I'm hoping that I can get it in the same position between the bolt holes, because it's really easy to get it lined up, because you got 2 bolt holes here and 2 here. So it will be very easy to line it up. And also, if that's the case, this vertical mount here, I can use this existing bracket on the subframe for this mount. So let's start with putting the subframe back on the car, turn the car over and go get the steering rack, and we'll go from there. I forgot I need a tool to open that.
Artlist.io.
Get this put away and then we go inside. Well, I'm back inside, cold outside. It's about -5 Celsius. So anyway, here's the 460 steering column. This piece goes in this one. This piece. It came loose. Let's see if I can break this before I even start working on it. Let's put it that way. So anyway, the end piece goes in the end here. It came loose when I removed the column from the rack. So I just left it like this. But I also got the rubber. That way you can see it bolts to the dash with 4 bolts here, 2 on each side. But to get it lined up through the hole, I got the rubber boot too. And this piece, this round piece here, that goes inside the rubber boot to line it up. So on the car right now, this rubber boot was riveted in place. So I'm gonna push out the rivets and attach this boot with some screws. But I do that off camera. That's a waste of your time to watch me do that. And I'm also gonna find some bolts to bolt this up. So I'll turn on the camera again when this steering column is secured inside the car, and then I'll turn on the camera when we put the rack on the 850 subframe and see where we have to do the mounts for it. So stay tuned, don't go anywhere. So I guess I lost the sound here, but this is, I'm showing the steering column is mounted with the rubber boot through the firewall, and here you see the steering shaft coupling sticking out. And I'm gonna set up the camera here, so when I mount the rack, you can see what it looks like. Camera setup. You can see the steering shaft sticking out there. So let's put the rack inside. There we go. I'm gonna crawl in here, and it's really tight space because you got the leg from the rotisserie stand in the middle there. It's a tight squeeze. So what I notice here is that there's a rubber stop, just that round thing by my belly. That thing, that's a rubber stop for the angle gear on the transmission. In case you have like a motor mount brake or something, that stop is to prevent the transmission and angle gear to rotate too much and break the CV joints on the drive shaft. So I gotta remove that. That's totally in the way. So I'm thinking about putting it back later on when the rack is in place. Try it again. I've got to remove that first. And that one. That's a third bracket for the 850 rack. Start with removing those two, and then we'll see what it looks like. Let's crawl out of this tight space, and the sound is coming back in a short time. Well, let's try again. Let's see what it looks like. I just realized something too. I'm going to show you when I get in here. Ooh. Ooh. This steering column doesn't have to be this far down. You can push it in like that. And let's take this heat shield off. Put the screws back so you know where they are. Okay. So my plan was and shit, it might work. Oh, if I could get down here. Oh. Okay. So that one needs to cut off there to get it down. You gotta lean it to be able to get it on the steering shaft. So, but we got a cut there. You know what? I think I take this one off. This bracket here, I think we remove that. It makes it easier to guide this one in. Yeah. Let's crawl out of here again, if it's possible. Put that one like that. One of the problem is that the leg from the rotisserie is right in the middle here. That's what makes it so cramped. So I'll pause the video again and remove that bracket, and I'll get back to you. There. This is a massive bracket, so I might reuse some of it when it's time for the rack to be fully installed. So let's get in there again. Ugh. I'm too old for this. You know, I think I'm 25, but I guess I'm not. So this is approximately in the center. So let's get down here. Holy crap. Is this gonna work? If I do this completely 90. I think this is gonna work. There. Now it's on the steering shaft. And this is approximately in the center between these previous mounting holes for the 850 shaft. And it looks like these mounting plates are 90 degrees to the subframe. So let's get something to keep the rack in place, and then I try to turn the steering shaft and see if it's not binding in that joint. Man, if this is gonna work, this was a lot easier than I had. Let's see here if this will work. So check that thing. I'm gonna need a plier on the, because I don't have a steering wheel. It's kind of tight. It's working. No binding. Damn. I'm happy with that. That means that if I put the steering rack centered between the old mounting holes, and in 90 degrees to the subframe, that's gonna work. And if it's tilted a little bit to the back, it doesn't matter. It just makes it a smoother angle on the joint from the steering shaft. Cool. So let me put you guys on pause again, and I'm gonna remove everything. Put the subframe back on the floor here, and then we can start manufacture brackets for the rack. So see you in a little bit. So now I'm back. So the first thing we got to do, we got to figure out the center line on this one. So a measuring device.
Hit the dance floor. Don't work too hard, my break a backbone. Return of the Mac, the king is back though. Corvette and cash, I never like those. She saw the
That is
fatality, my diamonds that
easy. 51.
Music licensing reimagined.
So that's 25.5.
Girl, blue eyes with a little bass. Here for the thrill, I don't need a chaser. Wanna vibe it to get away. Shimmy, shimmy, yeah, I got the semi-four way. Don't step out the line like this a probate. You hit the line and try to locate.
25.5.
Too many, I'm going. Too crazy and I got bad ones and they ready. A good time, so now it's into it, we left that.
Oh, that's stupid. That's not center. You gotta measure from the center of the hole. 25.5. There. And with straight edge.
Reimagined.
That's the center. And then we gotta figure out the center on the rack. So put that up here. Wait. So we cut take off the rubber boots. I have to remove them anyway, because when it's all on the car and I have the front suspension mounted, I gotta redo the inner and outer tie rods, because as you probably seen, this one is shorter, narrower than the 850.
Music licensing reimagined.
Get my special tool. Where are you? There. Oh, these need to be replaced. They're rock hard. Oh, it's like plastic. It's not rubber. Wait, excuse me. My God. Doesn't want to come off.
Music licensing reimagined.
There. Huh. On this one, it's a rubber band around the end. See one on this one? It's inside this thing. Nope. Okay. So, from the end to the end, that is
Music licensing reimagined.
49.5. So what's half of that? 49.9. Half of 49 is 24 and a half. So 24.7 should be the center. That's right there. That was easy. Let's do this one maybe. That's the center line. So how much is that?
Artlist.io.
1.5.
Music licensing reimagined.
So it's supposed to be like this. Now these are 90.
Artlist.io.
That is over a little bit. It's like 1 millimeter off. It doesn't matter that much. You can adjust that on the tie rods.
Music licensing.
But there it's supposed to be. We just got to do another thing first and see if it will fit there. So put this aside and let's put up the sway bar link. Or the sway bar, not the link.
Artlist.io.
There goes there. Will this fit?
Music licensing reimagined.
In the middle there, in the middle there, and 90, and it does. It's going to be tight to remove or install that bolt for the sway bar, but it's possible if you hold this aside. But that's in the center. That's in the center. What do you think? This will work. Now I just have to make brackets for this.
Music licensing reimagined.
as strong as possible. So I'm gonna think about that a little bit, and I do that off camera. Okay, this is what I had in mind. This one goes on this side, that one goes on that side. So there, we can take this away. So I was going to, I'm welding this to the subframe. And then I make reinforce it with plates this way on both sides. And I might make around it to oh, I don't know what it's called in English. In Swedish det blir som en krage runt den. Så förstärka upp han. But this one will be welded to the subframe, and also the reinforcement on the sides here is going to go probably half from this one, the same radius as the rack and pinion, all the way down, tie up in this one on both sides. That was my plan, and it'll be the same on both sides. This one I gotta bend a little bit more. It's not quite 90. So what about the other one? Yeah, the other one needs a little bit too. So that's my plan. Like so. Oh, that's perfect. Perfecto. So let's make a mark where to drill the hole. So I only need one hole, or one mark for the hole. I know where the other one is. That's that one. This one is a little bit tougher because it's got a flurp in the middle. Let's see if I can do that. Oh, I have to be left-handed, and I'm not a good left-hander. Like so. Does it go all the way in? No. Guess I have to do the... You know what I can do? If I do this one first, and if it lines up on this side, then I can use this one as a template for the other one. So let's drill a hole in this one. Okay, one is done. Like so. And if I put it on the other side, so it doesn't line up perfectly. It's about 2 millimeter difference. So I can use this as a template, but you gotta do it 2 millimeter. The hole's 2 millimeter higher up. So, but that could work. Because if I line them up at the top, there's like 2 millimeter difference in the bottom. I don't know if you can see that on the video. So if I line up the top and I mark where the holes have to be drilled, that's gonna be the right distance. That made it kind of easy. So let me do the other one. Well, I made the other one too. I have to keep checking so my microphone is on. So this one is finished. I even made the little hole in the center for this thing here. So just bolt it on the rack and weld it on there. And I gotta clean up the area first so I get good penetration. Well, I'm wondering if I should make the sides first before I weld it. Doesn't really matter. If I weld it to the subframe first, they get more stability. So let me find some nuts and bolts. So because the bottom hole is so far down, we gotta use insects bolts. This side can use shorter ones, but I don't have that for the moment. And of course I'm going to use washers, but this is just a mock-up to be able to weld it. So it's no use to putting washers on it now. This is interesting, how I'm going to get my fingers in there. I think I'm going to weld the nuts on this side because it's got a metal bracket around the rack. So if I weld the nuts on the back side, it's going to be a lot easier to remove if I have to.
Artlist.io.
There's one thing I have to figure out here. I have marked on the back side where the rack and pinion is supposed to be. But if I start grinding the sheet metal clean, the marking is going to disappear. So I should have done that after. But we can do it like this. So this line is easy to make a new one. So let's take this off and make it some sheet metal clean here. I'm not going to show you how to grind metal. Nice and shiny. Let's put this back. I'll draw a new line here. And the center line is still there. So it should be like that. Like so. What do you think? Shall we put a spot on it? Holes. This one should actually be more like so. There, I would say that is, I'm looking at the straight line down in the back here that you can't see on the camera. From there, 61.5. 61.5. That's the same distance. It's not enough material to. Leaning a little bit backwards, that's okay. That's just good for the steering shaft. So I think we spot weld these and then take the rack off and then make sure that these two are in the same angle backwards before I brace it on the sides, because it looks like this one is straighter than that one. So I'm gonna pull out the welder and maybe do some spots on these. Let's spot this. Spot this. Spot this. Like so, huh? It's on there now. So let's remove the rack. Well, good morning, guys. it's the next day. Let's continue with this rack and pinion. So these L-shaped brackets, they're not strong enough to hold it. So I cut some plates here, the same thickness, that's 3 millimeters. So we're gonna make a support on each side here. And how to get this round shape. So I found this in my drawer and see if it works. So do it from this side because it's easier accessible. Like so. So that's the size of the rack. So we put that on the piece of plate and we make a mark. So I'm going to do that off camera. So I'll see you in a little bit. Like so. Gonna do one more. And I'm also gonna use these as a template on this side. Oh, it's thinner here. So on this side is 48. The diameter of the rack is 48 here. But on this side is smaller. So let's see. On this side is only 40. So I can't use those as a template. I can make one more that goes on this side. And we can spot weld them in place. So let me do another one, a copy. Now we both are done. One goes there, one goes there. Now we're just gonna cut them in the right length. So flush. It goes that way. Get it flush. Like so. Draw a line on the inside. That's where we need to cut that one. And put a let's put a R for right side. Now what about this one? It goes that way. And put that as an L for left side. This one is an R. I changed my writing because I'm going to cut that off. So So let's cut that off and start welding. Like so. So let's spot weld these in place. Let me build the other side, and then I come back to you when it's finished welding, and we put the rack in and see how it works. Okay? Oh, like this then. I hope it's going to be strong enough. It's only sideways it needs to hold. You know, when you turn the wheels, you don't want the rack and pinion to move around. So let's put the rack back. Oh, that's right. I welded 2 nuts on this end, so it's going to be easier to remove it and put it back in case I need to. So let's put the rack together.
Music licensing reimagined.
What do you think? Let me know in the comments. Is this going to be strong enough to keep it from going sideways when you're turning? So, is this going to hold? Please let me know in the comments. Even if you think this is BS, let me know. Tell me what I should have done differently. Well, after sleeping on it, I wasn't happy with the mounts I did, so I made an extra support there and there. So hopefully that's going to be strong enough. So I guess that's it for this video. I don't think it's much more I can do until I get the car down on the ground. So unless something else, I'll see you after November 11. Thanks for watching. Take care. Bye-bye.